Alright, it's been a little while, but we're back in Dragon Game. I don't even remember what was happening last. I should have probably watched the video. Oh well. We haven't seen Anna in a while. I can also order some lunch, see what happens with that. Now let's go meet up with Anna. She told me to meet her here, so she's got to be around somewhere. The production facility had many different wings, covering everything from research to processing, in addition to production. It was easy to get lost if you didn't know where you were going. I heard some commotion in the distance, and when I approached, I was surprised to see not only Anna, but Remy as well. Hey, my boy Remy. They seemed to be in the middle of a heated conversation. I thought it would be inappropriate to approach now, so I remained several paces back out of their field of vision, but still close enough to be able to make out their words. We have heard the rumors. So you come to me on the basis of rumors. Is that how you operate? What do you want from me? It's not the first time you've been in trouble, you know. They might not be so lenient with you this time. I don't know what you're talking about. Consider this a warning. You should proceed carefully for your own good. If you want to threaten me, the least you could do was send someone more intimidating. You may be larger than I am, but even I can see that you're just a big coward. You wouldn't dare to put your dirty claws on me. I wouldn't. I'm here as a courtesy to you, not to threaten or intimidate. Do with that information whatever you wish. You know we'll be back, and if they find anything, there will be consequences. Do you think I care? This attitude of yours is not helpful. Neither are you. Well, I said what I came here to say. Good luck. Whatever. Remy turned to leave and started walking in my direction. I ducked behind a pillar, and when he went past, I wasn't sure if he'd seen me. Either way, he left, and I was safe to approach now. What was that all about? Who cares? Wait, how long have you been here? Not very long. Not that it matters much anyways. This is just par for the course for me. I know Remy. What's the problem? The nerve of that guy. He probably wouldn't be so uptight if it wasn't for that thing with his girlfriend a few years ago. But I don't care about him. It's his superiors that are the problem. They don't like me and the research I'm doing. They cite their traditions and values, claiming that those are what have kept us alive for so long. If anything, were to changes, it would obviously fracture the base the society is built on, cause it all to collapse, tear apart families, and allow all hell to break loose. At least, if you believe those old-timers who would keep repeating those phrases. And all that nonsense because of my research. Valuable research that would save minds, live you. What kind of research are we talking about? I could show you sometime. But we're here to have fun, right? I thought you wanted to show me, since you said we're both in biology and all that. Sure, but after doing this all day, you'll have to excuse me for not wanting to talk about it even more. Wasting my time with that guy was just another setback, now that I don't already have more than enough work to do. Even right now, I'm supposed to be working overtime. I guess you can give me the tour another time, then. I will. Oh, and thanks for the blood, by the way. The results aren't in yet, but I'll let you know when they are. Good. I'm just as curious about the results as you are. No, you aren't. I am way curiouser than you are. Curiouser? Is that even a word? I thought the same damn thing. It is, since an author popularized its use where I came from. Then I am way more curiouser than you are. Fucking hell. Not if I am the curiorist. Excuse me for a moment, but I must weep for the English language. At this rate, why don't you even just say the most curiorist? I'm not sure. I'm not a linguist. Are you? Not exactly, but I have a way with words. My tongue is quite skilled, or so I hear. Some might even say, cunning. In any case, if you have to work overtime today, does that mean I should wait for you, or do you want me to come back another time? Neither. I think my break should start right about now. I wish I had the ability to make breaks happen at my convenience. Just one of the perks of being the manager of this facility. So where are we going? I don't know where you are going, but I think I need a coffee or 5. You could tag along if you like. Sure, why not? Now that's a convincing reason. I hope you brought your own money, though, because I'm not sharing. I didn't, but everything I purchased is taken care of by my ambassador status. Nice. Actually, that opens up some interesting possibilities. It might, but I'd rather not do anything too fishy. I don't want to raise any suspicion, you know? Good point. Well, let's go then. After you, milady. Tips Fedora. Milady. Oh, goddammit. There we are. Finally, I can't wait to get some coffee into my system. Oh, hello, Kaiser. Nice to see you again. Hey, who's your companion? Can you just take my order? I apologize. Let me try that again. Welcome to our establishment. My name's Adine, and I'll be your waitress today. What can I bring you to? I'll have a coffee. Thank you. And what can I bring the esteemed gentle person on the other side of the table? I'm curious what kind of soda they have. Is it going to be like generic soda, or is it going to be like their own sort of brand thing? I'm kind of curious. No problem. I'll be right back. What's her problem? I'm here to order something, not to chit-chat with the employees. She's just trying to be friendly. I guess I'm not a fan of friendly then. Here you go. Enjoy. Ah, I totally needed that. So you work in that facility? And your point is? What's your job there? I mean, what do you do exactly? We do all kinds of things. The truth is, we just have all kinds of specialized machinery there that are used different many people for different purposes. The building is owned and run by the council, who oversees the schedule. It is quite handy, since you can't go from research to testing and even manufacturing all in the same complex. I started out as a researcher in biology, which is still my main job, but I've been there so long and learned the ins and outs of the building so well that eventually I was asked to take over some managerial duties. Sure, it means more work, but also allows me to run a personal project every once in a while. Does that state your curiosity? I've only seen glimpses, but it sounds like a fascinating place. I'm not sure I go as far to call it fascinating, but it surely does give me a lot of opportunities. Oh, I forgot to ask you, what do you actually plan to do with my blood and test results? What is this, an interrogation? I was just asking a question, that's all. Well, it's not the first. Well, excuse me, princess. Sorry, I'm just stressed from all the work lately. I'm not getting much respite between my regular work, overtime, personal projects, and all other disturbances like that Remy sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. What do you usually do during your free time? Having a good work-life balance is very important, you know. I love my job, I really do. Actually, I love it so much that even in my free time, I still do the things that have to do with biology. As I said, I've got the opportunity to do my own project sometimes, so that's what I focus on when I get the chance. It would be a shame to pass up an opportunity like that without using it. With the current influx of work, I rarely leave the facility. If I'm not eating or sleeping, even right now, I'm only on break and have to go back for another shift. Maybe you should do something else for a change. Maybe, but right now there's not really an option. I would help if the council weren't constantly sending their lackeys to mess with me. So that wasn't the first time? No, I suppose I'm on their watch list or something. Why's that? It's a long story, and not one for a first date. You're saying this is a date? No, I'm saying that even if this were a date, which would be more than whatever this is, it wouldn't be very appropriate. Stories about work aren't very romantic. It's always about work with you. Come on, you're on a break. We should do something to take your mind off that for once. Like, what? I'm not sure. Do you have any other hobbies? Not really. Hey, waitress! How can I help you? Do you have anything here to entertain your guests? Any games or other distractions? I'm not sure. Let me go check. What exactly are you trying to do? I'm being cute and spontaneous. I'll remember this day, for good or bad. I'm not sure yet. It's more for kids, but we don't really have anything else. It's fine, thank you. Have fun. A board game? Really? I know it's not Knitsky's textile merchant, but I suppose it's better than nothing. Textile merchant? Knitsky? It's a game. Never mind. Well, I'm not convinced will accomplish anything, unless your goal is to make me regret this day. Seems to be a trivia game. Do you have good general knowledge? Do you even know what kind of advanced knowledge I have to memorize and work with every single day? You bet I have good general knowledge. Certainly more than enough to beat a foreigner like you. If you're so confident, maybe we should make a bet. What do you have in mind? Let's say if I win, I'll get to go on a real date with you. No fitting me in during your break, no complaining about everything, and no acting as if you're doing me a favor. Especially because it was you who wanted to meet me in the first place. And if I win, I'll have you come in sometimes so I can run more tests on you. Oh no. If that's what you want, so be it. I am a gambling man. Since it was your idea, it's only fair that I start. So how does this work? It seems to be pretty simple. We take turns drawing cards and asking questions until we've both asked a number that we agree on beforehand. Whoever gets more right in the end wins. How many questions shall it be then? How about 5? Let's make it 3. Not sure how long this will take, and my break won't be for too long either. Alright, go ahead then. I saw mischief in her eyes, her stare piercing, paired with a hint of an arrogant smirk that exposed her anticipation. She seemed confident that she would win, and loved every second of it. Oh no. Slowly her hand went over to the deck of cards and drew the topmost. Oh no. What do I agree to? Who cited as one of the most important historians, his work spanning over 20 books, credited with mapping our entire history since the beginning of sentience. Fuck! I should actually know this one. I think it's Hazik Akil? How could you even know something like that? You've only been here for what, a few days? Maybe you shouldn't underestimate me. Maybe. Let's see how you fare with your first question. Bring it. How far can you walk into the woods? Only until the middle. Anything after that, you're walking out of the woods again. You're right. It's a rather weird question, though. I suppose I read the right kind of books growing up. I know most of those trick questions. Let's see what the second question has in store for you, shall we? Now, I'm scared of this one, because if the first question was like that, I'm scared of this one. Round 2. Alright, if there are 5 apples and you take away 3, how many do you have? Wait, if there are 5 apples and you take away 3, how many do you have? Wait. I didn't want to go back all the way to round 2. I wanted to read the question again. If there are 5 apples and you take away 3, how many do you have? Alright, I don't already have the 5 apples. Alright, that's what I wanted to know. I have 3 then. Guess you also know your trick questions. Apparently so. Here's your question. In which year of our timeline do we gain sentience? 0. The beginning of our timeline marks the event when we gain sentience. Right again. Have you played this game before? It's a children's game. These questions aren't really a challenge. I'll just go ahead and draw the next card so we can end this. Round 3. An adventurer who values his life has to choose between 3 rooms to cross. Which one of the following would be safest? Room A, filled with poisonous gas. Room 2, filled with 100 highly trained assassins. Room 3, a room submerged in water, filled with alligators. They're not eaten in 8 months. Oh, fuck. I mean, none of these are particularly safe. And I feel like none of these is a trick question. Or a trick answer. God damn it. I want to see the question again. An adventurer who values his life has to choose between 3 rooms to cross. Well, if he values his life, he wouldn't choose any of these rooms. I mean, I guess he could choose room 1 if he has a gas mask, but... That's right, all the rooms are equally deadly. Alligators can go up to 2 years or more without food, making room 3 as deadly as the others. The other 2 rooms should not require any explanation. At least according to this card, to be honest, I think the answer is debatable. Don't worry, I'll still count as the right answer for you. Don't need to get your tail caught in the door about it. Looks like this is going to be the last question. Just get over with already. What is the approximate acceleration speed of a nose-diving flyer? I'll have to think about that one for a minute. I was just kidding. I still could have calculated that. Okay, here's the real question. What is the only substance known to be lighter in its solid form compared to its liquid states? Water. Seems to be correct. Of course it is. Duh. Hey! You answered Anna's questions correctly. Well, it appears our game has ended in a tie. What do you propose? I say we both get our rewards. After all, we each made a good effort to get them. I don't know if I'm fine with that. I won't have a spot in the facility to do tests for a while, though, so I suppose next time we meet, it'll be a date. Don't forget what I said earlier. What I expect from you on this date? You better be on your best behavior. I'll try. Thank you. In any case, I should head back to work. My break's just about over. See you soon, then. Of course. And I'll make sure you deliver your part of the deal. See you soon. I don't like this anymore. Despite all odds, I managed to match her perfect score in the game we played. Even though my bet of forcing her to go on a proper date with me was more to get back at her for her earlier rudeness, I now expected this outcome. I was not even sure what I expected from this meeting in the first place. And I was logging going on a date with her, and being her own personal guinea pig. Whether anything good would come of this, I wasn't sure either. Nah, I don't think it will come good. She, oh, there's a message on the answering machine. I just want to update you. I still have an open spot in our facility for your tests. I'll be free if you want to cash in your reward. You know I'm busy, so this is your chance for your dates if you still want to go through with it. Take it or leave it. I don't care much either way. In any case, you know where to find me. I guess the choice is mine. Nothing going on today, I guess I can do whatever. So I can immediately go back out with Anna. Who the hell is Lorem? I don't remember who Lorem is. I'm kind of interested to see who Lorem is because I don't remember who he is. Or who she is. I also should probably meet up with Bryce at some points. Yeah, we got time. Let's meet up with Lorem just because I'm curious on who he is. It's a coffee place. I went to the bar Lorem had suggested as our meeting place. When I looked around, I saw Bryce sitting at the table. Oh, talking to someone I couldn't see. I lingered on him for a second, but soon spotted Lorem in the corner of my eye. Oh, it's this little runt. There you are. Hey, Lorem. It's good to see you. I thought you might not show up. Am I late? Not at all. I got here early. I'm kind of surprised you wanted to meet me here. Don't take this the wrong way, but are we even old enough to drink? What are you talking about? Oh, I see. I can assure you I am a fully grown adult. My species doesn't get much bigger than this. Speaking of which, are you fully grown yet? How big do humans usually get, and how do you stack up comparatively speaking? Oh, and would you mind if I took some notes? Before we get to that, you haven't even told me what exactly all this is for. Are you sure you're not a reporter? If I was, Sebastian wouldn't have let me meet you in the first place. And I thought the uniform was just a clever disguise. It's real though. Sebastian knows that I work for the local post office. Excuse me, but this doesn't really tell me anything about why I'm here. You're a postman who wants to interview me for what exactly? Sorry, I guess I just got ahead of myself here. Maybe a full introduction is in order? And after that, you can still decide whether you want to go through with this or not. Sounds good to me. I recently graduated college with a degree in computing and moved in here with a good friend of mine. The town doesn't exactly offer the best opportunities to put my degree to good use, though. Then why move here in the first place? Living in the city can be very expensive. I can always move later when I get a job there. I've got other plans right now, though. I'm working on a video game. A video game. Sounds interesting. Exactly. Video games and computers are just starting to catch on in places like this town. Making good content will be important to give a good first impression. And humans have always been part of our media. Books, movies, and now games. With you on our side, this should be an amazing opportunity. Well... Oh, maybe that wasn't such a good idea after all. Why? I don't know, you just don't seem so thrilled about doing this anymore. Besides, your job must be really stressful, and you're probably already in the spotlight all the time. And now, to top it all off, you got some postman harassing you for an interview. If you wanted to leave, I'd get that. I'll stay. I'm already here, and I have nothing else to do, so let's make the most of this. Yes, thank you. At least I don't have to be so careful now. With a reporter, I'd have to worry about things being misinterpreted or being taken out of context. You should still be careful. What you tell me now will influence how your entire species will be represented in my game. Don't worry though, I'll treat this delicate matter with the required finesse. I'm sure of it. How should we do this? Let me think. Why do you want to make this game in the first place? I've always wanted to make a video game. I've had this idea for a while, and it seems now it's the right time to do it. It's almost as if you arrived at the perfect moment. I don't know. Don't you think it might visible overshadow your efforts? People may not be so interested in playing a video game about humans anymore if they had a real one show up. Good point, but the vast majority won't get to meet you personally. Anyway, if I say I did and modeled the humans in the game after you, people will flock to it and get similar experience. Does that mean I'm going to be your game's mascot? I guess you could say so. Okay, but why focus on humans? What makes us so important? If there's one thing that people here love, it's humans. It doesn't matter if they just see them in the media or believe them as some mythical creature. For me, humans were always real. I just didn't know whether I'd ever get a chance to meet one myself. So I guess I can cross that one off my bucket list. Now that we're here, I can tell you that no expense will be spared to make our portrayal of humans as accurate as possible. You certainly seem passionate enough about this. For good reason. I just love humans. If you say it like that, it actually ends up sounding pretty weird. Besides, what if I turn out to be a horrible person? What would you think about the humans then? It wouldn't change anything, because I wouldn't base my opinion on an entire species on interactions with a single individual. Then what is your current opinion on us based on? Just the myths that we have of the previous portals of humans in our media. But I suppose that's why I'm here talking with you right now. I want the truth, and all of it. Telling you all of it might not be such a good idea. Oh yeah, I guess that would take a lot more time than we have today. Anyway, what's the actual game about? What do you do? It's a community simulation game. It all starts with the player character moving into a procedurally generated community, which is inhabited by all kinds of mythical creatures, humans included. So, basically Animal Crossing, then. Mythical creatures like humans. I need to not be so damn skeptical because this is a different world. I'm being a dumbass. Not only are towns you move in unique, but the inhabitants are too. There are a variety of traits that get randomized, both in looks and personality. There are many things you can do, but it's very open-ended, and you can live your life there however you want to. Sounds interesting. I don't particularly care, though. It is. At least I hope others feel the same way about it. What other mythical creatures are there besides humans? I haven't worked that out yet, but humans alone will give a lot of material to work with. How so? The question of the mythical humans can be tackled in a variety of ways. There are many different interpretations of what humans look like. For example, in general, the mythical human can be divided into three categories. Firstly, the human as a physical creature. Secondly, the human as a non-physical entity. And thirdly, the human as a spiritual being. Let's start with the physical aspects. Sure, since one of our myths tells us the humans who create us eventually turn to a dragon, there's a lot of room for interpretation as to how so many humans actually are dragons. I can see you don't have wings, but most of us are able to create fire in some way, or at least have a breath weapon. How about you? I can rub sticks together to make fire. Does that count? Ooga booga? Not really. Having hands that are dexterous enough to do that is remarkable, though. It's a bit strange, though, because our myths also say that you gave it the ability to us. Interesting. Maybe it's meant to be taken literally, meaning that when that ability was given to us, you lost it. Or maybe we never had it in the first place. Humans are known to have created a lot of things out of nothing. After all, we only need to discover how to create and use fire, because we didn't have the natural ability to do so. We have a proverb that sums it up pretty well. What is it? Necessity is the mother of invention. So lack of natural abilities drove innovation forward. What an interesting thought. Here's another thing. You may have different images of humans, but in the end, only one can be right. It's also possible that what you've been led to believe about humans doesn't actually refer to us at all. Are you implying that you aren't human? No, I'm an alien! No, I'm just saying that if you really had been in contact with humans before, as your methods imply, they would need to belong to the same species as me, and thus be very similar to myself. If they aren't, then either they weren't humans at all, or have very different origins. So you say there is a possibility that our humans and your humans may be something different altogether. I suppose you're right in the way that our images of humans are very inconsistent. They certainly can't all be humans in the way that we referred to a single species. The name should probably be reserved for yours. And we haven't even touched on the other two categories of humans. What'd you call them again? Non-physical human entities and spiritual humans. What's the difference? Honestly, the definitions get a bit muddled here. Going by conventional belief, a ghost could be a human who has died and thus changed into a different form. We would call this a spiritual human. An angel, on the other hand, would be classified as a non-physical entity. What do you know about angels? Angels basically look like humans with wings. Their existence in ancient scriptures was used to lend some credence to the theories about humans having become dragons, because of the wings. Exactly. but some of your dragon species don't have wings either. Yes, I said once you start delving into that kind of stuff, it all becomes very convoluted. Wait, Matt, you also told me something about a four-headed human? Right, with that we have to go to the realm of creatures that just don't make much sense at all. Having four heads just seems unlikely from an evolutionary perspective. That might not really matter if we were talking about a non-physical entity or a spiritual being, though. So in the end, you have a lot of different ideas whose only connection to each other is that you use the word human to describe them in some way. And they share at least some basic characteristics. You fit those all well, by the way. What are they? You certainly are not reptile like us, but you don't look like a conventional mammal either. We are mammals, though. Yes, but you're so different from other mammals. We know that. Ultimately, you're quite unique. We don't know any other sentient mammals. Also... Actually, no, I guess there are other mammals that aren't, like, completely covered in fur. You've got a point there. I'll give you that. Strangely enough, we have plenty of human-like creatures in our mythologies as well. Oh, do tell. You already mentioned ghosts, but some other ones include dwarves, giants, fairies, and blemmies? I think I've heard most of those before. But what is a blemmy? I'm also curious what a blemmy is. Essentially, a blemmies is a human without a head. A human without a head. How does that work? How do they eat? Instead of a head, they have all their facial features in their chest. That's a rather weird mental image. Yeah, I don't like it either, to be honest. There's also a lot of half creatures that share some characteristics with human and other animals. Like merhumans? Sure. Lastly, there are creatures that are said to be able to shapeshift into a human form. Strangely enough, some of our dragon myths said they could shapeshift into humans, or that certain countries' royalty are descended from dragons. That would imply that they are genetically compatible with humans. Apparently. Sounds rather outlandish if you ask me. We certainly can't shapeshift like that. That's probably why they're just myths. Right, to be fair, we do have a lot of myths that seem quite out there as well, compared to what you're like. Anyway, how come you know so much about myths? All part of being an ambassador. Not only did I learn about dragon myths in order to compare them to what you're like, but I also studied myths about creatures that are similar to humans, so I could find out how similar they were to yours. Well, you're doing an excellent job so far, and it's bound to help me with a lot of my game as well. You're going to put all of that into the game? Let's just say it gives me some excellent material to work with. You wanted to give an accurate portrayal of humans, not just collect myths. One species will certainly be modeled after you, but that doesn't mean we can't introduce some variety with the others. People will love it if we also bring some more unusual myths to life. I see. But since we also want each of the normal human characters to be unique, I'd like to know how much variety there really is with your species. I've seen Reza before, so comparing him to you already gives me a bit of an idea, but how far do these differences go exactly? When we arrived here, you asked me if I was old enough to drink. That leads me to believe that your average human must be a lot taller. That's true. I could say Reza would be about average for an adult. Not that it would be impossible to get a good deal bigger than him, or even smaller than you, but those cases are rather rare and usually the result of medical conditions. I see. What about colors? Are there any humans who are blue like me? Not really. There are a certain spectrum of skin colors that can be lighter or darker, but so far, I've seen a lot more variety in the dragons here. I do have quite a lot of different eye colors, though. Interesting. As for things that aren't immediately visible, we also have different blood types, but I assume you know about that. We certainly have those as well. Some people even believe your blood type influences your personality. That, on the other hand, is news to me. Anything else you want to know? Yeah, we've already got so much. I'll have to think about it and see if we can work all this into the game. Have you worked on any other games before? I've worked on a few small projects during the course of my studies, and also interned at a studio before. This is a completely different level, though. How so? It's my game, so I'm the one calling the shots here. It's a very different thing than just making a few graphics when you're part of a bigger team, for sure. I see. How long exactly have you been working on this? Must be several months now. I've got everything planned out, and a lot of the groundwork has already been done. The most difficult things are the characters themselves, and to make sure all the details are accurate. Of course. Have you shown the game to other people yet? Sure, feedback is a very important part of the development process, so I regularly gather ideas and opinions from others. I even made a website to do this. And what do they say? All kinds of things, really. Sometimes it's hard to decide which ones have a good point and which ones can be disregarded. Overall, it seems there are many people who are looking forward to playing my game, though. How many are we talking about? I don't know exactly. The counter on my website only tracks the number of visits, so I don't actually know how many different people there are. What if it doesn't work out? What do you mean? Well, you're investing a certain amount of time and money into making this game. Ideally, you want to make back your investment and hopefully get some profit on top of it. If the goal is to make money, sure. However, I just wanted to try my hand at doing something like this. If some people are going to enjoy the end result, that's great. Don't forget that I'll also have to make something that I can put on my resume. At the very least, it'll have been a good learning experience. With that attitude, I suppose you don't really have anything to lose. I could always look for another job and maybe I'll end up working at a game studio, but I think once I start doing something like that, I might not get this opportunity again. So it's now or never, huh? In a nutshell, yes. And that all works out with your courier job. Sure, I can support myself this way, and I'm not really under any pressure, since I don't have any deadlines to keep. Deadlines are a good way to ensure something gets done, though. Right about that. If something were to balance, it's important, I think. I set deadlines for myself, but I don't have to worry about the project breaking down if I don't meet certain milestones at a certain time. What kind of tools are you using to make it? I consider what some of your species look like. I'm having a hard time imagining how the bigger ones could program a game. While we do have a device tailored to each individual species, I cannot deny that dexterous hands make it a lot easier compared to some of the others. One downside is I have to keep my nails short, or else using the keyboard gets a bit cumbersome. Imagine you have to be careful with those while working as a courier anyways. You're right about that. One wrong move and you suddenly shred the letter you were just going to hand to someone. That sounds unpleasant. Luckily, that kind of thing doesn't really happen to me anymore. Not only because of the shorter nails, but once you've worked there for a while, you just learn to be more careful. I'm a bit sad not to have as a natural letter opener anymore, though. And it's not just for me. Some people ask me to open their letters for them, since doing that with their own can be difficult for some of the less dexterous and older ones. Have you been working as a courier for long? I just got this job a few months ago, but I had a part-time summer job at the post office when I was growing up. My species is perfectly suited for the job, so we're glad to have me on board. I can see why. Of course, being able to fly is a big plus. My size means I can't deliver any big packages, but I often get assigned to urgent letters that have to be delivered as soon as possible. It's getting late. Maybe we should leave it at that for today. Yeah, I should probably head back to my apartment before it gets dark. I got more than enough material to work with. Thanks a lot. Don't worry about it. I'll just consider it a public service. Honestly, I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity, especially after nearly getting denied by Sebastian when I met you. Just make the best of it. I certainly will. I really have to get going now, so maybe we'll see you some other time. Sure, have a good night. Take care. Alright, little happy dragon. Oh. Grief. Passion. Chapter 3. Oh, I don't like how I'm being looked at in that passion card. Well, that's a good stopping off point, going into a new chapter. Oh boy. Is there anything that I gotta worry about? I don't think so. So that'll be it for this, and I'll see you next time.